Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create and submit a comic strip using StoryBoardThat.com. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to StoryBoardThat.com and it'll take you to a screen like this. You want to log in. So you can use this button up here to the right. And you'll get a login screen like this. We're just going to log in using our Google account. So just click on Google. And it might ask you to choose an account if you've got multiple accounts open. So I'm going to choose my Garden City Schools account. Right. And it'll take you to a screen like this. So we've got some buttons up here. If you've saved some storyboards already, you can click My Storyboards, but we're going to create a storyboard today. All right, and then we have our cells here for our comic strip. We've got 3 to start out as the default. And we've got some different things up here that I'll talk about in a second. But what I want to direct you to first are these blue buttons down here at the bottom. So for our projects, we're usually going to have our cells for our pictures, and then we want to add a description box so you can tell us what is in your comics. So we're going to go to Layout, this button all the way to the left, bottom left. And we've got some different options here. You can put a title up at the top, but we want to have a cell and description. So a place to put your picture and a place to put your description. So we're going to click on that one. Okay. You can see now that we've got 6 boxes total here. A place for our pictures and a place for our descriptions that we'll be able to type in. Now for some projects, we'll want you to have more than 3 cells. So you can go to this button here that says Add and Delete Cells, and you can add up to 3 by 2 blocks for our storyboard. But for our purposes, we're just going to keep it to 3 today. Okay, so what you want to do is create your description usually first. So I'm going to use our summer example. So in this first box, I'm going to call it My Summer. And then you want to give us a description. So you'll give us a description of 2 to 3 sentences about your topic. So I'm going to say, this summer, I went to the Upper Peninsula and visited my family. I also went to the very tip of the UP, then back down to Detroit. All right, so that's just a little description of my summer. Now, I've got my description done, so I want to start on my pictures. So the first thing we look at up here are some backgrounds. These are called scenes on StoryBoardThat.com. There's all kinds of different scenes. We've got entertainment. If you go over here, there are outdoor scenes, so maybe you want a beach. And all you do is drag and drop those scenes, and they fit right in those boxes. So I'm going to get rid of that. That was not what I did, although I did visit some beaches. But I'm going to go to this transportation one here. All right, I'm going to choose a road for my road trip up to the UP. Okay. Now, you can edit this scene by clicking this button here. You can make it nighttime. You can add some weather events in there. There's lots of different things you can do. You can change the color of the sky and so on. I'm just going to keep mine pretty plain here for my project. All right, so we've got a scene that fits with my description. Now you want to add in some characters. Maybe they're doing some things. There are all kinds of characters on here, different ethnicities, different religions, different events. We've got brides and grooms and all kinds of different things. So depending on what your purposes are, you can find those people. We've got teens as well, and we have kids. And then we also have all kinds of different ones. You might want to be using some of our history people for some of our projects. We've got stick figures, animals, all kinds of different ones. Sports. All right, so I'm just going to choose this person right here. Kind of looks like me a little bit, without the curly hair. And you can change this person, their appearance as well. You can change their hair color, their skin color. You can change their eyes, their shirt, all kinds of different stuff. So I'm just going to change a couple things there. And then you can also edit their pose. So I'm going to click on that. You can change their facial expressions. Okay, I'm going to do this happy, excited one. You can change what their arms are doing. And you can change their legs too. Maybe they're down on their knees playing on the sand, running or hiking, sitting. And you can also change the orientation of their bodies. So I'm just going to keep her standing here, facing forward, arms to the side, just kind of basic here. I'm going to update the pose. All right. And then I didn't walk to the UP, so I'm going to need a vehicle here. And I don't see anything that shouts where I could find a car. So I'm going to use this search tool up here. I'm just going to type in car. Now it might ask you to upgrade. We don't want to upgrade. We want to keep this free. All right, so we've got a couple of different vehicles here. Again, you'll just drag and drop those. This one isn't quite what I used to drive up there, so I'm going to choose something different. You can hit more and see some more options. We've got buses, all kinds of different vehicles. Now I drive an SUV, but I don't see one here, so I'm going to grab a truck. That's probably closest to what I need it to be. All right, and you can resize the truck so it's big enough for your scene. And I want to stay in the center lane. And you can see I'm kind of in the car, but I've got the rest of my body is kind of in the way here. So what you can do is you can resize the person so I can fit in the car a little bit. Okay. You can see my legs are sticking out still. So I'm going to crop my character. So you have some editing tools up here. You can rotate things. I'm going to use this square with a slash through it to crop my person. All right. So you can kind of see the truck in the background. I'm going to crop right up to the edge there. Now it looks like I'm in the car, which is what I want. I'm on my road trip. All right. So we've got a scene. We've got a character. And then the last thing you want to add in is a speech bubble. So I'm going to do textables up here. And we have all kinds of different speech bubbles going in different directions. We have thought bubbles as well. And you can see that there are different ones for if you have multiple speakers, all kinds of different options here. So I'm going to choose this one. This looks like it'll fit in my scene pretty well. All right. And we're going to have to resize this. So I'm going to just drag this here and then drag it down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller. All right, and I'm going to just click in the box and I'm going to say, I love the UP. All right, then I'm going to drag it so it makes sense with my little person here. You want to make sure it's in the scene for you. Okay, so we've got our scene, we've got our description, and then you can move on and do the rest of those. Now, when you're all finished, you've got all your scenes covered, you've got all your descriptions in here, you're going to click Save. And you can do this in between times. But I'm going to show you how to submit this. So it's going to ask you to create a title. I'm going to call this Best Summer Ever. You can add a description if you want, but that's not necessary. Then you're going to save your storyboard. All right. And then this way you can go back in and edit it if you'd like. If you scroll down to these buttons here, you can edit it. But once you're ready to actually submit it, we're going to click this bottom blue button called Print. All right, and you want to choose the option to the left called Storyboard Only. We don't need a text in there. And then you'll see a screen like this. It'll say destination for the printer. It might say choose a printer or printers or something like that, but something that's going to give you some options for printing. You might have a printer hooked up to your computer. I personally don't have one at home, so it just says I can print to Windows. So what you want to do is save as a PDF, or you can save it to Google Drive, but I'm going to choose save to PDF, save as a PDF. And then you'll hit save down here. All right, so we're going to say you want to save this, and we're going to call it, you want to say your last name, and then the title of your project. And that way when you submit it, your teacher knows whose it is. All right, and I'm just going to, you'll probably save this in your downloads. Looks like it's going to save in my pictures here. I'm going to save it in downloads just for our purposes here, because that's where it'll save for you. All right, and then of course I would have more pictures here. All right, and then we're going to go back into our Google Classroom. Okay, so we're in Google Classroom. You're going to go to your classwork and find your assignment wherever it is. And it's called Best Summer Ever comic strip for this one. And you are going to click View Assignment, and you'll get a screen that looks like this. And what you want to do to attach your storyboard is click Add or Create. All right, and you can pull it from Google Drive or any files that you have. You can go to Google Drive here. You can see some of our recent things, or you can click Upload and hit Browse. All right, and so I'm going to go into my Downloads folder because that's where I know it's saved. And I'm going to choose it once I find it, hit Open. And once it's done uploading there, we'll see a turn in button, and then you'll just click on that and it'll be turned in. As an alternative to saving as a PDF, you can also save it to your Google Drive. So we're going to go down to Print again, Storyboard Only. And this time, instead of choosing Save as PDF, we're going to choose Save to Google Drive. Okay, hit Save. And that way, when we go back into Submit It, we're going to hit Add or Create, choose Google Drive. And instead of trying to upload it from our Downloads folder, it'll probably just show up in your recent stuff, or you'll be able to find it in your Drive. So since it shows up here in Recent, I'm just going to choose that one, Insert, and once it's ready, turn that in. So that is how to use and submit a comic strip through StoryBoardThat.com.